Hey guys, so this is a quick video just to tell you about the first time I've ever tried flying a drone, with the exception of the Tello, which doesn't really count. So this one just happened to be the DJI Mavic Mini, and I found it overall to be a really good drone. A few things I will say about this drone: I tried flying it indoors. You can't have a GPS support because satellites can't find you in your house, so the stabilization on the drone doesn't actually work with the GPS. It actually works just by using the camera. So I found this out the hard way by flying into the bottom of my stairs where it's quite dark. It lost its stability and crashed into a coat and fell to the floor. So if you do try flying this indoors in low light, you will lose stabilization and probably crash. So obviously the next step was to take it outside. Now I found outside it was really great. I've never had the option of being able to fly up and control a camera from the sky, so this was really exciting for me. I decided to find some trees on top of a hill, and I went up there and I flew it out across a park. When I was flying, I was actually flying in strong winds, and despite the app telling me to land as soon as possible, I decided to stay near a little bit longer and see how it would cope. Now it did actually cope really well with stabilization, and the footage was still really smooth despite the wind. I found the connection between the remote and the drone very good, although when we did hit strong winds, the footage on my phone did start to get a bit broken, but as it records straight to the drone, this had no effect on the final footage. Now my total fly time with one battery was 21 minutes, and I had 16% battery life when I landed. Now I did find that using the DJI app actually drained my phone battery relatively quickly, and it actually, in the 20 minutes, it took down 60% of my battery life. My battery is fairly old now, and I would imagine you'd get more if you had a newer phone, but for me this was an issue. Instead of being able to fly for about an hour, I could only fly for about 20 minutes. Now I left the camera on the whole time I was flying for the 21 minutes, and it took up about 6 gigabytes of memory, and I was shooting at 2.7K. Once in the air, I found it really easy to guide the camera smoothly by switching over to sign mode, and I found that changing it to position and sports mode actually made it really quick and easy to move around as well. But I did actually find it very difficult where we're close to other objects not to crash, and I had to be really aware of the surroundings. And again, I've never had the option to go up that high with a drone before, so obviously you can't go above 120 meters by law, and I stayed well within this limit, and kept the drone close to me so I could see it at all times. Another thing I'll say about this drone is it doesn't make a terrible amount of noise compared to when I've seen other people fly larger drones, sports drones, and also professional photography drones. I also decided to take this out to the beach and fly over the sea. I found this a bit daunting. Obviously if it goes into the water, the drone's gone. So and I also actually forgot my memory card, so I've got no footage of that. And I also found it started to get quite low quite quickly. I was shooting in really windy conditions. It made me feel a bit nervous as it kept diving towards the water, so I lifted it up high and flew straight back towards land and landed it pretty much within a few minutes. Something I will point out for this, which is quite a shame, is you have no control over the manual settings of the video other than the ISO and the EV. There's no manual control, it's all automatic. Getting it back home and putting it on the PC, it was very easy to transfer. You just pop your micro SD card out the back of the drone and into an adapter and straight into the PC. You can actually only shoot in MP4 or JPEGs, so there is no RAW option for either video or photo modes, which is a bit of a shame really. I don't know if this is necessary because it's not going to add to the weight of changing the software, and other drones would have had that same software, so they already have it. I also found that there's no option to shoot on RAW. By dropping the EV to a lower exposure, it's easier to correct the exposure later on in editing software. As I say, it did take up 6 gigabytes of memory with one 20-minute flight, which is quite considerable. I did have a 32 gigabyte memory card, so I've decided to upgrade to a 128 gigabyte memory card for when I go away. Now this was a good practice run, and I will do a few more practice runs before I take this out over to Costa Rica. I'm going to be doing a video later to show you how easy it is to travel with this drone, the way the drone overcomes certain problems, and maybe some other problems that we've faced. I will also say I did crash it a few times, and I found it to be a very sturdy piece of kit. No propellers needed replacing, and it did work fine. I will just mention that one time when I crashed it, it did actually need to be reset twice because it was saying there was a problem with the gimbal, and I had to call the support number. In the end, after the third time I reset it, it was working fine. Okay guys, as I said, I will be taking this to Costa Rica, and if you'd like to see the video about that, hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon, and you'll know as soon as that video has been uploaded. It will be sometime in February. I'd be really interested to see what your views and opinions are of this drone, and also it'd be great to see some of your footage. Feel free to drop links down in the comment section below. If you found this video helpful, hitting the like button is always huge support to me, and it helps my channel get found, and it really does help you grow. So that's it from this video. I hope you've got a lot of information in a small amount of time on this. If you do have any questions, please feel free to put it in the comment section down below, and I hope to see you in the next one.